So getting in the habit of reading my Bible, I realized that there's nothing that we can go through that somebody in the Bible hasn't. So with that being said, it made me look at the story of Jonah. We already know that God told him to deliver a message to Nineveh, and Jonah bought a ticket and went to Tarshish. There was a big storm. He gets thrown off the boat, swallowed by a fish. He prays while inside the fish and gets spit out, and now he's going to Nineveh to spread the message that God told him to deliver. Boom. But I want to break it down for y'all, so if you stay, I appreciate you. Let's break it down. So I want to break down this story and show why we are very alike with Jonah. So the message that God sent to Jonah to deliver was that God was going to destroy Nineveh in 40 days. That's in chapter 3, verse 3. But going on to chapter 4, verse 11, it says, but Nineveh has more than 120,000 people living in spiritual darkness, meaning we can interpret that there's probably more than 120,000 people living there, but 120,000 people or more than that were just living in spiritual darkness alone. So I really want you to keep that, locked in your brain. Keep that in mind. So Jonah delivered the message of all of Nineveh. So after Jonah delivered the message, the king and the people of Nineveh all prayed, fasted, and turned from their evil ways. And then it says in verse 10, when God saw what they had done and how they put a stop to their evil ways, he changed his mind and did not carry out the destruction that he had threatened. Meaning he changed his mind because he's seen how they put a change to the way that they were living. So here's what we could probably relate to Jonah. It says in chapter 4 that he became very angry with the Lord. And if you read this, we can all assume that he's mad because he feels like his time was wasted. This is where we can relate to Jonah. Let me know if this sounds like you. Jonah's upset because he feels like his time was wasted since God never delivered on his threat to Nineveh. Keep in mind, in chapter 3, it says it takes 3 days to get across Nineveh. Keep in mind, Jonah's preaching to over 120,000 people, meaning it took more than 3 days, because 3 days is just getting across. I mean, that's what I can assume. I'm pretty sure it took more than 3 days. If it took 3 days to get across Nineveh, just imagine what it was like preaching, the message that God delivered. You get what I'm saying? But Jonah was in such a selfish mindset, he didn't even realize he saved over 120,000 people by obeying God. Let's do a little bit of subtracting here. So over 120,000 people were saved because God was being merciful to them, because they had prayed and fasted and changed their evil ways because of the message that Jonah delivered that God sent him. Jonah's in his selfish mindset so much that he didn't realize he planted seeds in 120,000 plus people. Because if they didn't get that message, they wouldn't have known that Nineveh was going to be destroyed in 40 days. So what I learned from Jonah is that we need to be grateful for the journey that God gives us, because we don't know the bigger picture, just like how Jonah didn't know the bigger picture.